So let's match up the chapters with the tracks, right? Let's pick the job titles and let's try to kind of give you an easy way to take the course. It's not intended that you watch the whole course. It's totally fine to do so. However, I know when I pick up a book, particularly a large book with lots and lots of pages, I'm probably not reading the thing from cover to cover. So I try to design the courses to where you can, like I said, drop in at any particular point. So let's do that here. So it's okay to skip videos. It's okay to skip sections. You know, it's your class. You do whatever you want. It's designed so you can watch the parts you need when you need them. Okay. So don't feel the pressure. I kind of laugh about this last one. I got a call one time, and this is my first little digression. If this is your first course with me, you'll learn I digress quite a bit. But so I got a call from somebody. I don't know. It was on the Learn It First phone. Uh, I guess maybe beginning of 2010, and it was a guy, and I think it was a guy. I can't remember really, but yeah, I just remember that this person was in a panic about how they had just been moved. They were like, let's say, an electrical engineer. This is getting to be a bad story to tell because I can't remember the specifics. But I just remember they had changed jobs. Their company was downsizing. They had now been placed over their databases. They were now the new database administrator. And they had moved from something like accounting or electrical engineering, something completely unrelated. And they were panicked because they thought they had to take this whole course in a week. They were doing I think it was the SQL 2008 DBA class. You don't have to do that, okay? Just take it at the pace you want to. All right, at least three groups of people. You're either a system administrator. A system administrator, in my opinion, is responsible for installation, the configuration, and the security at the very least, right? There's going to be other things that a system administrator might be responsible for, but those are predominantly the things we think of when we start talking about system administration. Business intelligence, or a BI architect. The BI architects, these are the ones that are creating the cubes, designing the measures, the fact tables, the dimensional tables, building the SSIS packages that do our ETL. Did I just throw a bunch of terms at you? Don't worry. If you don't get all of these terms down here yet, that's totally fine. I mean, that's what you're here for. If you're a new person, we're going to explain what cubes and dimensions are. So if I just blew straight over your head with a bunch of stuff you don't know, it's cool. I'm going to talk to somebody else now. I'm talking kind of to someone at a different level than you right there, but you'll catch up. When we get into chapter 2, we're going to explain what all of those are. Okay? For those of you that kind of don't really maybe align with the system administrator or BI architect side of things, I'm going to consider you to be an analyst or just an end user, someone who takes advantage of everything that analysis services can do. You're an information consumer, a knowledge worker, maybe, right? Those terms might kind of catch your ear a little bit. You're working with the reports. You're designing the reports, possibly. Okay, you're doing ad hoc reporting. Okay? So let's actually walk through these particular tracks. Okay, these are just subsets of the course here. I'm going to assume you've picked out one of those, and let's walk through and actually map them to these here. Okay, so the system administrators, let's just kind of talk about this. We're going to talk about, for you, we're going to talk about installing analysis services, configuring analysis services, disaster recovery, managing security. Okay? For the BI architects, as I mentioned, you're going to be doing the design of the cubes, the dimensions, the measures, the fact tables, dimensional tables, the ETL processes using SSIS. Okay, lots of acronyms that some of you may not have a clue what they even mean. Okay, so we're going to talk about gathering requirements. That's going to be a key part of our design discussion as well. And then the rest of everyone else, the end user here, the information consumer, the knowledge worker here. This is just browsing the cube, working with the cube, building reports off of the cube. Okay. I would also say that if you kind of don't know what you are, if you just are coming to this and you say, gosh, I just think I want a good general overview of what analysis services is and what it does, I would suggest that you put yourself in the BI analysts track. You may want to watch some of the BI architect information, the system administrator stuff, probably not, just something you'd want in an overview. But I would just suggest, at least for your first pass through the course, that you jump into the BI analysts track and kind of go from there. Okay. So pick out which one you want, kind of spend some time thinking about it. You got it? All right. So let's take a look at the chapters. Now, just like in the last video, I can't fit all the chapters on one page and have it be readable. So I've spread it to 2 pages. Up at the top here, we have our abbreviations. Okay, so oops, sorry. Let me zoom in right here. Okay, so SA is the system administrator track. BIA is the business intelligence architects, BI architects. BIU is the business intelligence analysts and users. Okay? So everybody does the first and second chapter. And then the third chapter is really only for the system administrators. However, I will suggest, if you don't have analysis services installed yet, that you at least watch up until you get it installed. Okay, so even if you're an architect or a user analyst type person, if you want to install it, watch that. Okay? You don't have to watch the whole thing, just watch it up until you get it up and running and can play with it. For the BIA, the business architects, the BI architects, you could see there's a pretty solid block here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where it says the BIU should skim, it's kind of harder to skim videos than books and articles maybe, but I think you should probably watch the first video in the chapter. The first video of every chapter will give you an idea of what's to come in that chapter, and then you should pick out the areas that you think you'd either like to learn some more information about or you think are really, really important. Okay? And then you see down here the BIU brings it in chapters 7 and 8 when we start browsing the cube and start working with that actual data. Okay. Then we get to the final 4 chapters here. You can see it's a very BI architect heavy here. Okay. The BIU may be responsible for writing the MDX queries. Kind of maybe look at the first video in the chapter and see if you spot some things you want to look at. Right? Certainly the data mining bit would be of interest, I think, to anybody that's going to be browsing the cube or certainly architecting a data warehouse. Okay? And the last one, squarely in the administration. Okay? So that's your tract. I've attached to this video a PDF file for your perusal, for your further review, whatever. What I would suggest is pick which track you're on and print this page. So like this page 12, you would want to print for if you are a system administrator, because it says, okay, I need to go take these chapters. Okay? If you consider yourself a BI architect, then you need to do most of the course. If you consider yourself an analyst or a user, here's what you need to do, and the little asterisks. Those are the ones you should skim. They're not completely necessary to do your job, but they're good to know. Okay, so you might go through and watch the first 4 chapters here, 2, 3, 4, and then after you've done that, circle back and watch those others. Okay. All right, I think it's totally fine to watch the whole course from start to finish if you want. Let's get into the sample databases. I'll see you in the next video.